This video is brought to you by Squarespace.
Over the past 2 months, I've collected over 30 books. That's very unlike me. I do not overspend on books ever, but there's some opportunities I couldn't pass up. Today, Friends, Family, and Intimate Reading Associates is the biggest book haul I've ever done on this channel. Before I showcase any of these books, let's hear a word from today's sponsor, Squarespace. Whether you're just starting your business or you already manage a business, Squarespace makes it easy to make your online presence unique and sustainable with just a click of a button. Squarespace makes it easy to create a unique, engaging website. With their incredible integrated SEO tools and Blueprint AI, Squarespace makes it easy to build an online presence from the ground up. And the best part, you can have it personally tailored to your brand and business. With Squarespace's optimized SEO tools, you'll show up more often to more people and grow that much quicker. Head on over to squarespace.com to start a free trial today, or head on over to squarespace.com/IanGubeli to get 10% off your first website and/or domain. Back to the book haul. All right, so I tried to make this smooth. Do I do this by category? Do I do this by genre? Do I do this by author? And I thought, screw it, I'm just gonna go in order. So the first book is Slaughterhouse-Five by Kurt Vonnegut. This is considered an American classic. It's been labeled one of the greatest anti-war books ever written. I'm very excited to finally dip my toes into Kurt Vonnegut. I've heard nothing but good things about this man, and Slaughterhouse-Five sounds like the book that I need to start with, so. The next book is For Whom the Bell Tolls by Ernest Hemingway. I've had my sights set on Hemingway for a long time, and I just haven't pulled the trigger. Well, I finally did that in August. I was out book shopping while I was on the road for work. There was just something called to me about For Whom the Bell Tolls. Set in 1937 during the Civil War in Spain. A beautiful, tragic love story, historical, literary fiction. I could not be more interested. If this is a great place to start with Hemingway, please let me know. If it's not, I will try something else first. Next, funny enough, I was over at my brother's house just watching a movie. That movie so happened to be Shutter Island. We were all thinking, I think this is based off of a book. I look it up online, and sure enough, Shutter Island is a novel by Dennis Lehane, a mystery thriller with a very terrifying, horrific twist. This is definitely one of the best thrillers I've read in a while. The next book that I picked up, Ashley and I went to Idaho for a wedding for our dear friend Faith. And while we were there, we stopped in at Half Price Books because Utah does not have a Half Price Books, unfortunately. And upon looking through the literary fiction section, I came across Pat Conroy's South of Broad. Pat Conroy is an author that I fell in love with last year. I had a video idea where I won't tell you. It should hopefully be the video after this video. I wanted to read Pat Conroy again. Don't want to give too much away about this book. I have already read it, and I can say it's amazing. I was very happy to find that in the bookstore. Next, for the same video, I wanted to dip my toes back into Larry McMurtry. I procured a copy of Streets of Laredo. This is the second book in the Lonesome Dove tetralogy. Oh my gosh, it's Lonesome Dove's sequel. Larry McMurtry gets me every time. I have also already read this book. Just wait for the video. Just wait for this bloody video. This is an American Western historical fiction epic. And then finally, I'm actually gonna be buddy reading this on the channel, so be on the lookout for that video sometime in October possibly. But that is Moby Dick by Herman Melville. This is a book that I tried to read 10 years ago, and good night. I was not ready for it. I still don't know if I'm ready for it. I'm very excited to do this because I've heard it said that this is one of the greatest, if not the greatest American novel. Wish me luck. Alrighty. Also in August, while we were in Boise, I also picked up some Stephen King books for cheap. And I'm talking cheap, dude. These are like $2 or $3. I happened to stumble upon his noir crime stuff. They are Later, Joyland, The Colorado Kid. I'm actually doing a big Stephen King month. Everything in October is going to be pretty much Stephen King. I've had a goal from the beginning of the year to try to read at least 20 of his novels. I'm nowhere close. I'm nowhere close. And so I purchased these in hopes of being a part of certain videos that I have planned for the entire month of October. If there's any Stephen King content you want to see in October, please let me know. Okay, so the last books in August were actually gifted to me by my wife. If you're unfamiliar with her, go check out her channel, go sub to her. But she recently went on a trip, a booktubers retreat in Portland, Oregon. Her and a group of credible creators went to Palace Bookstore, and so she was on the hunt for some special books for me, unbeknownst to me. And she came back with some incredible gems. The first one being Skeleton Crew by Stephen King. This is a collection of short stories. I believe there's, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Dude, there's 22 short stories in this book. Holy crap, how many pages is this thing? Goodness gracious. Okay, I have never read a Stephen King short story, and so this will be my first shot at it. She picked this up for me. The second gift blew my mind, and that is Duma Key, the hardcover. Good Lord, look at this book. Incredible. This dust jacket is amazing. I have already read this book. I think this was the first 5-star read of the year for me. Duma Key was an amazing horror novel. Excellent addition to the library. So thoughtful of my wife. She's incredible. I will cherish this till the day that I die. That's 11 books in August. A lot of those were severely discounted, so it really it makes it easier for me to justify it. So, okay, but getting into September, some of these were gifts, and then some of these were a shopping spree that my wife surprised me with. We went to Barnes & Noble, and she gave me 30 seconds to pick out as many books as I could carry. And at the end of those 30 seconds, what I had in my arms is what I could go and buy. Here's what I picked up. The first books that I immediately ran to were the Live Ship Trader books by Robin Hobb. I finally dipped my toes into Robin Hobb in the spring and over the summer. The Farseer trilogy blew me away. I was so smitten with her writing and her world that I had to. I told myself, as soon as I get a chance, I'm buying at least the first book. Well, it seems like a birthday tradition because my last birthday, I bought the entire Farseer trilogy, and this year I bought Live Ship Trader. That series begins with Ship of Magic. This is a series about magical ships that are essentially sentient, and I can only imagine what that means. I can only imagine how she pulls that off. Mad Ship. I also hear that this series has one of the greatest villains you'll ever read. Ship of Destiny. I'm very excited to get into this. Let me know if you want to see a vlog of me reading these, or I might just read these for myself and just let you know what I thought, but I had to. The next books that I walked out of the store with were Larry McMurtry's Pulitzer Prize winning Lonesome Dove. Now, I read Lonesome Dove last summer, was blown away. It was a 6-star read before I ever got halfway through it. Now I have it in my possession, and I might do a reread. Again, if you want to see a vlog of that, I would not mind rereading some of my favorite books of all time. In that same vein, I also had to pick up Pat Conroy's The Prince of Tides. I've already spoken about this book so many times on my channel. Just like Lonesome Dove, I did not have this book in my possession, so I thought, screw it, I'm sick of not having it on my shelf. This is a book I want to reread over and over and over again. And then, of course, having read 2 Pat Conroy books, I thought, you know what? I'm gonna take a leap of faith. And so I bought Beach Music. He's probably my favorite literary fiction author of all time. And then finally, I've been putting off this book for far too long, but I saw this version of it, and I thought, you know what? It's my birthday, freaking screw it. And that was The Godfather by Mario Puzo. I'm a huge Godfather fan, definitely one of my favorite movie trilogies of all time. And so I picked up this luscious hardcover on a discount and thought, you know what, it's time. It's absolutely time. Historical fiction, crime fiction, dealing with underground crime families. I'm excited to see what inspired one of my favorite movies of all time. Going back to Stephen King, I have so many ideas for October. I wish I could tell you those ideas, but you're just gonna have to wait and see. There is a book that I've needed to read of his for so long. I've heard a lot of creators say that this is one of the greatest nonfiction books I've ever read. And that is on writing. As a fan of Stephen King and as a writer who dabbles in creative writing, this book just makes sense for me. I've been putting this off for a year. I finally did it. I'm very excited to study this and learn from one of the people that inspires me to be a writer. And then I also picked up a new copy of Pet Sematary. I freaking love this novel. I read this last year, was completely blown away by it, but I have since been giving this out as a recommendation. This is a heavy book, guys. If you want to get into Stephen King and you want to dabble into his horror, of course, I would recommend this because this is probably his scariest book. I would not recommend going into this lightly. I recommended this to somebody earlier this year, and I regret that so much because it was the wrong recommendation. It was the absolute wrong recommendation. If you're watching this, you know who you are. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And then, dude, my dear sweet wife blew me away. I've been talking about getting this book set for so long. My wife just surprised me with it. And that is this beautiful Hodder Publishing Stephen King book set. Good night. Look at these beautiful spines. So, what do we have? Firestarter. An amazing book about a girl with telekinetic powers where she can start fires, and of course, guess what? The government wants her. Oh, one of his classics. Cujo. Big evil Saint Bernard. People get trapped in a car. I mean, it's pretty much the book. Oh, a book that I've been dying to get into ever since I read The Dark Tower. That is Salem's Lot. I've heard this is one of the greatest vampire stories of all time, and of course, Stephen King dabbling in vampires. What could go wrong. Then a book that I read last year, loved, I'm very excited to reread it this year for October. That is The Shining, Stephen King horror classic, probably his most famous horror novel of all time. I think this has been dubbed by his fans that this is his scariest novel. You will definitely be seeing me read this very soon. And then last but not least, Dr. Sleep. And I saved my favorite for last because I have been wanting this book set for a very long time and I finally pulled the trigger on it. Let me just show you. A brand new set of Harry Potter. Look at this! What are you looking at? Holy crap. Isn't that stunning? So upon rereading Harry Potter last year, for the fall, I realized that my set is very poorly made. They're all very stiff and broken and not good. So I thought I'm gonna donate them. I took the opportunity over my birthday to procure this amazing set. Look at these freaking books. Look at these books, man. I'm blown away at this set. And it's not by Scholastic either. Oh, my all-time favorite. This is my favorite Harry Potter book. Goodness. It doesn't get much better than this. 32 books. I won't be going book shopping for a very long time. So that's it. That's it, folks. That is my book haul. Comment down below what I should start with, what I should read, what videos you want to see from what books. Thank you so much for sticking around. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you so much again to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Head over to squarespace.com for your free trial today, or head over to squarespace.com/Ian Gubeli, link in the description, for 10% off your first website and/or domain. I love you. I will see you guys in the next one.